Welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. Coming up on today's episode, has Cooper betrayed the Cooperites as he is set for Leicester? 130k plus offered for Che Adams. Worrell gets ever closer to Sheffield. And Forest are set to sign a World Cup winning young German. All this and plenty more coming up on your latest Nottingham Forest news. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. As always, please don't forget to hit that like button. Let's get 500 likes on today's video. So have a look down below. If that like button is less than 500, make sure you have hit that. Subscribe if you are new. And don't forget, in the UK, we are getting screwed with Netflix. Netflix offers so much more in their libraries than we get. And if you want to access that, you need Surfshark VPN. Get Surfshark VPN using code FFTV. Get yourselves an extra 4 months for free and 86% off. And all you have to do then is connect to USA, connect to Australia, and unlock all those libraries on Netflix. Scan the QR code or the links down below. Okay, let's jump into the news. And we have to start, even though I don't really care, it's not that Forest related. I know there is still a segment of the fan base who are in turmoil today. A moral dilemma. Cooper going to Leicester. I guess the first question that needs to be asked, are Leicester rivals to Forest? Yes, geographically they are rivals, but do we care about them like we care about a derby? Do you care about them? Let me know in the comments down below. But the reaction has been quite funny and quite entertaining, to say the least, with all these split loyalties coming. Some people wishing him good luck in his job at Leicester. Some people thinking, why do we care? And that's my stance on it. I don't think Cooper's good enough for the Premier League. And I'm glad that they didn't get Harry Potter, because I think he's a better manager and more suited to the Premier League. Steve Cooper is a magician in the Championship. Look what he did for us. Look what he did for the likes of Swansea. But Premier League is a cut too high. So in terms of linking this back to Forest news, I see this as a positive. Because as things stand, if Leicester do get docked points, then I say put the R by their name. They've got to be one of the favourites for relegation now. And Cooper, we all know his style of football in the Premier League. The reaction from the Leicester fans has been almost unanimous. Now, I can't say I don't really watch their fan base too much, but you can tell from the comments that they're not up for it, especially after they got catfished by Harry Potter, with Romano deleting his tweet where he said basically Harry Potter is on his way to Leicester, and then he catfishes them and they have to settle for Steve Cooper. So Cooper goes into a job as not even the first choice. The bridesmaid gets the position because Harry Potter was demanding too much money. But is this a good thing for Forest or not? Would you have feared a Leicester side under Potter more so than Cooper, or the other way around? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, when it comes to Cooper, it's what I've been saying about him the whole time. I hold no grudges against him. I thank him for what he did to Forest. And I do not see this as a betrayal. A man has to make a living. But it is important that football fans take lessons from this, because we've seen the clips where Cooper has said he will forever be in debt to us and the fans.
I've said to your colleagues, you know, I'll be in debt to my family. We'll be in debt to these supporters forever.
There's been talks that he said he could never manage a rival club to Nottingham Forest. All this is manager talk where they have to say the right things to, appease the fan base. And that's fine. But it's when people go and buy into it too much. That's what I don't get. There's only one thing certain in loyalty when it comes to football, and that's the fans to the club. Not a manager to the club, not players to the club, not even ownerships to the club. The fans are the most loyal, and that cannot be debated. And this is the proof in the pudding. Now, fair play to him. He's got himself a Premier League role, maybe only for 6 months, who knows? maybe back in the Championship with Leicester come next season. Maybe they're future-proofing themselves, expecting points deductions, etc. So I don't want to harp on about it, but I'll be interested to know, especially from the Cooperites out there, how do you feel about this? Will you be getting a half and half scarf come Forest versus Leicester this season? Or are you Forest till you die? Let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty then, let's move on to our second story, and it is the rash that just won't go away, and that's Che Adams. As we told you about a week ago, he's been linked to clubs from Saudi Arabia as well. And reports are out now that El Shabab have offered him 134 plus K to join them. What is this world coming to? I would go and play for them for 20k a week, and I'd probably end up on just as many goals as Che Adams. And you know, when I saw this report, it was heartbreaking. Surely Che Adams will now go to Saudi. Now, just to remind you, he has said that he won't be coming to any decisions until after Scotland win the Euros, and then he will talk about his future. But as things stand, the money, the whiff of the oil money has been put under his nose in the shape of over 130k a week. Che Adams, as much as I would love to see you in the Garibaldi next season, I will fully understand and fully respect your decision if you decide to be a money grabber. I wouldn't blame you. I can't see anyone that would blame you. And I would have respect for it. And I would understand it. And I will get over the idea of you not coming to Nottingham Forest. So for me, mate, follow your dreams, chase the money, oil yourself up, and best of luck to you. Now, if he does come to Forest after all of this, bloody hell, the man's crazy. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. So let's move on to an incoming before we talk about the outgoings at Nottingham Forest. And Forest are very close to signing a World Cup winner, in brackets under 17s, from Germany, Eric de Silva. Who? My exact same question as well. This guy is a right back who can play as a right winger, who can also play up front. And he basically, because of his age, hasn't settled into which position he's going to be in. Now, he plays for St. Pauli II, the team, you know, that won the Champions League last year. And he's going to cost Forest about €1.5 million, I believe it is. But he has gone through the ranks in the German national team. He's played at under 16 levels, played 10 games there, scored 2 goals. Played at under 17s now, 25 games, 3 goals, and obviously that's where he won the World Cup. And he's made 8 appearances for St. Pauli II. That's pronounced. So, what does this mean? This is Forest now trying to undergo the model that you see the likes of Chelsea do, Manchester United, Man City, etc., where they're building for the future. And I have no problems with it at all. I just think it's probably a season or two too early. Why do I say this? Because I still think Forest need to establish their first team, their first squad, in fact. I still think we have plenty of holes in that team. And for Forest to be jumping ahead 2, 3, 4 years, I get it, it's good for forward planning, but I don't think it's quite the right stage to do it. Because what we'll probably see with him is a bit like Brendan Aguilera, is he'll probably get loaned out when he comes in, develop him in for a couple of years. And as I say, don't get me wrong, I have no problems at all with this. But I just think the priority needs to be on the starting squad. And then maybe in the off season, get the recruitment team working on these gems of talent. Now, he does look good. I haven't seen him play at all. I'm not going to lie about that one. But from the odd clips you see, and let's be honest, in these clips and reels and things, everyone looks good. Even Ez would look good at it. So it's a case of let's see what happens and develops with him. But the focus for me still needs to be on the starting 11 and then the squad, and then look at these youth products that are coming through. Now, he could end up being a worldie in a few years' time. We don't know, but it's one for the future. But what are your thoughts, I guess, is my question on Forest's approach. Do you agree with me that yes, I do like the idea of it, but it's one for a year's time? in terms of the structure within the club? Or do you think this is the right approach? Maybe we unearth a gem while we're picking these players up and it's well worth it in the long run. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's now talk about something that I think is really important, especially over the next 10 to 12 days or so, and that's the outgoings from Nottingham Forest. And currently, first who looks like he's leaving is Joe Worrall. We've told you all summer, if you can call this British summer a summer, that Worrall is heavily linked to a couple of championship clubs. And it is now strongly emerging that Sheffield will be the ones who put a bid in. There are talks currently undergoing between their people, his people, and Forest people about putting a deal together. Now, there are a few major problems with this because Sheffield are undergoing a takeover from some Americans. And the question is, will they have the funds to do this deal? Will it get approval from the new incoming regime that they're bringing in? And how does the fake cheap prince feel about it all as well? And the biggest question is, will the thieving bastards actually pay us if a deal is agreed? Now, in principle, I think this works well for all parties. Joe Worrall was immense for Forest in the Championship, especially in that promotion season. And I can see the likes of Sheffield being very excited by bringing him in. He is their level. I'd probably say he's a cut above their level as well. And he will fit in nicely into their team. Now, the fee is, to remind you, about £4 to £4.2 million for Joe Worrall, and that is pure profit on PSR. This deal has to happen before the 30th of June. This goes a good way and a big chunk down the road into that 20 million to 25 million deficit that we believe Forest have and need to clear before the close or the start of the next PSR financial year. So I'm all up for this deal. Now, there is talks as well that they want a double deal with Lewis O'Brien being part of that equation. Whether or not that can happen quickly enough, we're not sure. So it looks like firstly it will be Joe Worrall, but they are looking for a buy two and get a discount if they can do it. How do you feel about him going to Sheffield? I mean, I do feel sorry for him because who the hell wants to play in that dump, in that crappy stadium with the stupid fans all around them in the Championship? But life must go on because Worrall himself is quoted as saying he is happy to drop down to the Championship. I think he's come to the realization and understanding that the pace of the Premier League is just a bit too much for him and he needs to drop down a division to basically play at his level. So Worrall, great servant for Forest, and in his exit will be a great servant for Forest as well, producing good profit that will help us financially when it comes to PSR. The other talk of exits that are likely to happen before the 30th of June are the goalkeepers. We've given you an update on Matt Turner. He looks like he's trying to cut a deal to get himself to the MLS. The other one that's being talked about now is Vlachodimos. There is an expectation from Nottingham Forest that they will receive some offers on the goalkeeper in the upcoming days to get him out of the club. Whether or not Forest can recoup all the money they've spent on him is another debate in itself. But they should be able to get enough into the bank, I guess, to at least break even on the amortization of the valuation of Vlachodimos. So expect that one to happen. Look, I still think he's a decent goalkeeper. You don't play the games you played at Benfica by being crap. And yes, I know we have history of players coming from Benfica, etc. But there will definitely be clubs interested in him. And I think this is a deal that will get done before the 30th of June. But it won't move the needle too much when it comes to PSR. So, what do you guys think about the situation? Do you think we should have already got rid of more players? Because the Mangala deal still hasn't gone through. In fact, none of the ones that have been highlighted as potential exits before the 30th of June, apart from, the squad removal of the players that we expected to go on contracts, etc., has happened yet. Are you starting to worry about that deadline? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget, we did a video with our good friend Ricardo this morning that went out on the channel explaining to you guys everything you need to know about Carlos Miguel. We will, of course, update you as the medical gets complete. But if you want to understand what type of player he is from a Corinthians fan perspective, go and watch that video, as Ricardo puts a lot of insight out there. Stuff that maybe makes me think, is he as perfect as we were hoping? Go check that out. I'll leave it on the end screen for you. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we will see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.